Hello crafty friends, this is Luisa Heinzel. Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to a new video. So today's video is about some brand new stuff that I've created during the last weeks, and I would like to introduce you to the crafty critters. Perhaps some of you have seen this preview picture here on my social medias. I've posted that the last days. And perhaps you ask yourself, okay, what's that? What's behind this stuff? If you want to know that, this video is for you. And some of you are really crazy and went to my Etsy shop and already purchased some of those items that I have new there. And I want to say a really, really big thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. Sometimes I have the feeling that you are faster with shopping in my shop than I am with creating, and that's really amazing, and I'm so thankful for that, and I really, really appreciate that. So thank you everyone who has already purchased that and printed it out, and perhaps you are already working with it. So that's a really awesome thing. Excuse me, please. So I would like to introduce you to the items that I have listed in my shop, but I have to say that's not the end. So as you perhaps saw in my Etsy shop, there's a new category that's called the Crafty Critters. And in this category, there are listed all the items that I've created until now. And there will be new items in the future with these little creatures that I have here on my desk. So I decided to put this together so that you can decide what you want and what you need for your own journal and what not, and that you can combine the single items with each other and make them perfectly fitting for your needs. Until now, there are 4 items in this shop, in this category. So that are the main pages. So one set of main pages, 10, a total of 10 main pages. Then there's So that's stuff that I've laying here on my table. Then there is the same item, but in a vintage version. I have this here. I will show you that in a second. Then we have some journaling cards and some definition labels. So if you have seen it, that are those little tiny things here, and some journaling cards. I will show you that later in detail as well. And there is one item that has a whole bunch of ephemera that fits to the other things. So yeah, let's start with the main pages. The story behind this whole thing is that I wanted to create some kind of junk journal kit that is about junk journaling. There were some people who asked me, Louise, can you please create a junk journal kit that is about junk journaling, about all those things: coffee dyeing, eco dyeing, washi tape, all the favorite things that we love, lace and all that stuff, all the tools that we use, and those things that we junk journalers love and need. So yeah, I came up with this kit here, and with the idea that obviously something is going on in our craft rooms when we are not there. Obviously there are going on things that we don't know and that we realize when we come back. So for example, some scissors are missing, or our washi tapes are sorted by color or something like that, and we know I didn't do that, but who was that? Who was here? So as you can hear in my voice, there's a little kind of ironic behind it. There is some kind of story behind it, and that makes it a little bit complicated for me to explain that, because I think this is the kit with the most thoughts, the most things I had to think about that I ever made. And that's a kit where nothing is done by accident or something like that. So everything that you will find in this kit has a meaning. Every page has something where you say, oh my gosh, what's that? And it has a reason that it is there. And yeah, that makes it a little bit confusing for me to explain that to you because of the story behind, but perhaps I can manage it. So one page, and that you can use that as a cover, or you can use that as the middle of a signature or something like that, or you can cut it or whatever. It shows the creatures that are commonly seen in junk journals. So all these creatures like butterflies or dragonflies and these bee things that we love and that we see very often in junk journals. And on the other side, we have the obviously forgotten creatures. And exactly these are the crafty critters. I'm a little bit nervous. So, for example, we have the fuzzy phanoctopus, who is a really, really big expert in fuzzy cutting. So this is also a theme that's very important for this junk journaling topic. And so I included it here to this page. And yeah, with these little definition labels that you get in this other item that I will show you, I explain to you what's behind. So if you want to know that, please go to my Etsy shop and read those little explanations on these labels. Then you will understand the most of the things that are behind. So it would be a really long video if I would explain you this in detail. But when you look at these pages, I think you will understand it by yourself. When you look at the details, then you will realize that this is, yeah, something like a really, really junk journal fans kit or something like that. With this kit, you can do nearly everything that has to do with crafting and junk journaling. I wanted to have something, yeah, for those people who say, okay, I want to have a journal where I can collect my ideas, where I can write down my favorite YouTube channels, where I get my inspirations from. I want a journal where I can collect my washi tape samples. So, for example, here the background is made completely out of washi tape. So this is the washi fish. And so these things, hopefully, in your eyes too, come together in some way. And of course, the crocodile is some crazy thing that some of us have in our craft room, and some say, okay, I know the crocodile, but I don't have the money to buy it or something like that. But I think, yeah, it's a really, really popular thing, and I try to include those tools as well. Yeah, and of course I know I couldn't include everything that has to do with junk journaling. So I decided to use those popular tools like ink, or this distressing tool, this thing where I always forgot the name, where you can poke the holes into your signatures and such things. And I tried to combine that with those things that we all love, like those dancing vintage women here. And also the backgrounds, I tried to include some patterns that are made with techniques that we all love. For example, this stamping with this bubble wrapping stuff. So when you look closer to those pages, you will find all those things that we have in our stash, that we have in our craft rooms, and that we use. And all those creators are doing some things. For example, obviously, we have Frida Kahlo here, and this little fly, Frida's fly, is watering the flowers on her hair. So I always ask myself, why has this woman those flowers on her hair? And how can they look such fresh and like they were, fresh from the garden? So I thought, okay, there has to be someone or something that is watering these flowers, that they always look so fresh on the pictures that we can see from Frida. And yeah, as you hear again, sometimes it's really ironically and some really, freaking and crazy weird stuff that I thought about here. But I thought I would like to create some jokes about junk journaling as well. So yeah, perhaps that makes sense. And yeah, my absolutely favorite thing is this one here. So that's glue gun Gertie. And glue gun Gertie can, of course, solve every sticky problem. So, yeah, you know that when someone says, okay, I can't glue this here to my journal page, what shall I do? Or my cover is falling apart, then sometimes, or yeah, sometimes the people make jokes and say, use your glue gun. The glue gun can solve every problem. I heard that very often, and so I decided to combine those things here. And yeah, so the glue gun Gertie was born for this kit here. And as you can see, also here in the background, I included some ledger paper and that stuff, and some greenery here and some flowers. Yeah, that we would normally use in a journal as additional pages or something like that, so that this journal, yeah, everything hopefully fits together in this junk journal themed look. Of course, we all love tassels as well, so we have these little tassel beds here, so they are hanging around here. And I can tell you, this page really killed my nerves. I painted all those stuff, as I said, so all the creatures I painted by myself, and it was so hard for me in this digital work to include those ribbons and that stuff, so that it yeah, fits together, and hopefully I could manage that it looks cute. So I'm really in love with those little guys here, and hopefully you will be that too. So yeah, that were the 10 main pages of this kit. And of course I know there are people who say, Louise, nice thing, but I'm a vintage lover. I'm totally in love with vintage and all those vintage colors, and I can't handle those bright colors that you have in your main pages there. For those people, I made this whole stuff in a more muted color scheme, so in this typically browny, vintagey color scheme. And I already folded this here into a signature. So this is the same stuff like I showed you before, but I wanted you to see how this looks when it is folded in half, so when it's made to a signature. So yeah, don't be confused. This is the same thing, but I changed the color palette a little bit so that the colors are in this vintage theme, and then you can use it also when you want to collect lace, or you want to collect some vintage buttons or other vintage junk journaling ideas. You can take this one here, print it out, and make your journal from it, and then you can write your things down in your yeah, in the way that you prefer. For this one here, I printed a neutral background to each page so that you can see how this will look. So that you can see when you only have these pages and you print something neutral to the background, then you have a whole thing where you can make a journal from. So you have these pages here, and of course you can add your own stuff, but you could also use it as a small notebook as it is. Because when you have these 10 pages, of course, when you fold them in half, then you have 20 pages, and you also have 20 of those neutral pages where you can journal on. Because I know some people say, okay, I don't want to journal on the pages in the kit as well, because often they are collaged and you like them as they are. And there are many people who say, okay, I want to leave this side of the page as it is, but I need some space for journaling. Especially for beginners or for people who don't have such a big craft stash, I made it like this so that you can yeah, have a really easy job when you want to print this and use this as a notebook or something like that, because you have the 10 main pages and a neutral background, and you can use it as it is. And yeah, here you can see the different color palette of this whole thing, and you can see how this will look like when it's folded in half. So of course that's the same with the colored thing. You can also print some backgrounds here and use this as a journal or as a little notebook as it is. So here's the middle of this, yeah, something like a signature. Of course, it's not sewn, as you can see, because I want to add some other papers here to my little notebook, but yeah, to show you that I made it like this. And yeah, glue gun Gertie in vintage. I think she looks really nice as well. So yeah, of course, you don't have to print backgrounds to the pages. Of course, you can also coffee dye your pages, or you can stamp on them. So that's only an example how you could do that, because I like for a journal where I write some important notes, I like to have a flat page. When you don't care about that and you can handle coffee dyed paper for writing down important things, of course you can do that as well. But I wanted it to have it, yeah, something like clear and really flat. So I decided to print that on the back side. But of course you can do your own stuff to this whole thing. Okay, so that are the main pages in vintage style. The next thing I have in my shop are some journaling cards and definition labels, because of course I told you the story behind those crafty critters is a really special one. I had so many thoughts about it, and I tried to make it to a really story, a whole story that can be really funny, and yeah, as I said, this thing that only a junk journaler can understand. So in this item of the journaling cards and definition labels, you will get this journaling cards here. And that's a total of 4 sheets to print. So we have all the creators that you can see in the main pages in this little notebook styled journaling cards here. And as you can see, I made this a little bit different than you know that from my shop or from other printables. Excuse me, please. So I had a discussion with one of my customers, and she said, okay, I have problems with fuzzy cutting. I have problems when this thing here is not a square or a rectangle or something like that you can cut like this and this and this and this. But when you have some kinds of fuzzy cutting here to do, I have problems to cut that out. And I thought, okay, that's really a problem, and how can I solve that? So I came up with the idea to put my journaling cards for this item onto a coffee dyed background. So as you can see, the background of the journaling cards is not white. So when you cut around and you have some problems with fuzzy cutting, you won't have some white frames here and somewhere not, and you won't have an ugly cut thing. But when you are not able to cut exactly here, you don't have to worry about it, because you have this coffee dyed thing in the background, and that makes it a little bit more easier for those people who have problems with fuzzy cutting. The second thing is that you can decide how you want to cut this. Perhaps you say, I hate lace. I don't want to have the lace on my journaling card here. Then, of course, you could also cut here and cut this little scrap here that you can see here that I have layered here. And you can cut here and make the journaling card a little bit smaller. Or perhaps you have a pocket where this whole width of the journaling card doesn't fit in. Then you can, of course, make that smaller. Or you could even cut it here and here and here and here, so that you have a square or something like that, so that it's a little bit more versatile to cut those journaling cards. So I tested this out, and now the sun comes into my room again. Sorry. Hopefully you can see anything. I had a really big problem with my recording here, because the sun makes what it wants today. Sorry. So yeah, I wanted it to be really, really flexible, so that you can do what you want with this pieces here, because it belongs a little bit to what you want to do with the journal in the end, what's the intention of the journal, so that you can decide how you want to cut those things here. And of course, it may be that there are people who say, I hate journaling cards, I don't need that. Then another possibility would be to cut the page like this, so that you have 2 of those, and then you can fold this to the other side, and you can use it as a smaller journaling page. So of course, when you cut it here and fold it here, then you have 2 pages with these images on it, so that you don't have to cut them out. If you like that, this journaling card look on this page, then you can also use it as a half-sized page in your journal. To make it easier for me and for this whole handling, I printed some coffee-dyed paper to the back side. So as I said, I like to have for those kind of journals something like a flat and good thing to write on. So I use this high quality copy paper here, this 200 copy paper, and I printed this coffee dyed background to the back side, but of course you can back it with everything what you want. In this item there are also, oh, I forgot Glugan-Gerti. Of course you will get a journaling card of Glugan-Gerti as well, and here can you see when you cut it how it will look. So I just have cut around here and I left all the things, the lace and that stuff, and yeah, then it looks like this. And from the back side I have my coffee dyed paper. I will distress the edges, and then I think I have a really beautiful journaling card. In this item you will get also the definition labels of all those creatures, and as you can see, those little labels here have the name of the creatures on it. They have the way you have to say the word, and then you have a little explanation about those little guys that you can find in the collection of this kit. And I'm not sure if I have said that already, because I recorded this video I think 100 times. Sorry. I don't want to say that again, but these little labels here fit to the labels that you can find on the pages. So for example, when you want to have the definition of Glugan-Gerti on your page, you can take the page where you can see Glugan-Gerti, and then you can take the label where the definition of Glugan-Gerti is written, and then you can put it here if you want. I made it like this, that the size of this little label is the same as the label that you can see here, so that you can easily glue it here. Of course, you can also make a little tuck spot out of it, or you can make a bigger pocket here on the edge or something like that. You can use it as you want, but if you only want to have it here, then you can glue it here to have the definition right to the critter that you have on your page here. For your own creativity, I have also some blank labels, as you can see here. So that is the rest of the sheet where this journaling card was here, and the definition labels were here on the bottom. So you will get some plain labels as well, so that you can write your own stuff there. For example, you can write my washi tape collection or my belly band ideas or whatever, so that you can use it for a little title of the page or something like that, or whatever you want. Yeah, so that was that. Let me just bring this here out of the way. And then in the last item we have some ephemera. So I've just cut some of those out from the sheet, so that you can see it a little bit better how it would look like when you cut it out. So we have this giant tags, 3 giant tags in this ephemera pack, and you will also find some of the crafty critters here on those tags. And as I said before, the backgrounds here also are some things that we junk journalers love. So this is onion dyed paper in the background. Here, this is dyed with red cabbage, and this one here, I don't know what this was, because I got it from a friend, and she sent me those scans of her eco-dyed papers, and I don't know with what she did this, but I think that was normal eco-dyeing with plants, I guess, I don't know. So that you have all those stuff in the background as well. So as I said, in this kit there is nothing without a reason. So on this tags as well. If you want to back the tags here with the original backgrounds, then I have a little tip for you. So as you can see here, this is the onion dyed background from here. This is the red cabbage dyed background from here, so you can see it here through, and this is the original of that, and this is this other eco-dyed thing, the background from here. If you want to do it the same like me here, you can do the following thing. You can be a little bit patient and then you will find in a few days a whole bunch of plain tags in my Etsy shop. So I have this item on my computer, but I have to solve some problems and I have to print it out and look if it looks like I want it, and then I will list it into my shop, so that you can also take these things here and put them to the background of the tags. This is not included in this ephemera pack, so I just printed that out to show you how that can look when the background here is in the same style like on the front. What you can do when you don't want this here, or when this is too confusing for you to journal on, then of course you can coffee dye them, or you can back them with some cardstock or something like that. Of course you could sew around here. I would like to sew around here, but my sewing machine is broken and I can't do it. But I think that would look really beautiful if you sew here around, or if you have a sewing stamp, then you can also use that for that. So these are these 3 giant tags of this ephemera pack. Then we have 4 of those journaling cards in this size here. I will tell you in a second why I have this here like it is here. And I tried to include some quotes and some funny things about junk journaling and paper crafting. So you can find that on those journaling cards. One of those journaling cards is a plain one, so that you can add your own quotes, or when you find something on Pinterest or somewhere else, you can write it here. And when you cut them out, they have this size, so I did nothing with them until now. Of course, you can distress the edges or something like that. On the back side, I have my coffee dyed paper as well, so that this can fit perfectly together. And of course, you don't have to use them as journaling cards. You also could cut them like this. So don't cut here, and then just fold it in half. And with this white frame that I measured here, it will be a really cool little, something like a mini notebook or something like that, when you put some pages here. So you could use some coffee dyed papers, or you can also make this little sample books. I saw that someday where the people have put some tiny pages of all the kinds of papers that you can see in the journal, in the main journal, into here. So like a little paper sample thing or something like that, that I found was a really cute idea. So I made it like this, that you have the one journaling card with this little quote on it, and the plain thing on the back side, so that you could use this for an additional little notebook like it is here. Of course, you can also do that with this both here as well, but I think it's nicer when one side is yeah, neutral, so that you think, okay, this is the front and this is the back. So that makes more sense to me, but of course you can do it like you want it. And of course you could also use this as a greeting card, as yeah, something to give to a friend, and then you can open it up like this and put your words here or add a photo here or something like that. Then we have a ton, really a ton, of small ephemera, like those little tags here. And I also included some quotes to the tags as well. Where are they? Here. And I tried to include all those, yeah, those themes of junk journaling to those quotes. And I, yeah, hopefully could manage that. So if you have a funny quote or something like that, of course, you can message me. I would encourage you to send me such things. Perhaps we can make a second ephemera pack with your quotes on it, or yeah, some new ideas. And I also tried to include the backgrounds of the main pages here. So for example, this red brush here is the little, how is this called? This thing from the washy fish. Where is he? Here. As you can see here, this fish, was heißt ein Flosser auf Englisch, ihr deutschen Mitbewohner hier, Zuschauer? Keine Ahnung. So sorry, I don't know the English word for this here. But this thing here from the fish is made out of this red brush here. So I manipulated it digitally so that it looks like this thing there from the fish. And so I tried to include those things that we have on the main pages as well here to this tag, so that everything fits perfectly together, hopefully. I think that was it. I have a little problem here with all the stuff. So that are those. Then we have two of those, yeah, something like bookmarks. You can use it as little belly bands or make some pockets out of it or something like that. Also with this little quotes on it. Then we have some tuck spots, some of those little banners or bookmarks. There are, I think, different words for this kind of stuff here, and I'm always not sure what's the right word, but I think, yeah, when you see it, you know what you can use it for. Another tuck spot, and yeah, this kind of belly bands here. So some people ask me how to use that. You can put glue only here and here, and then glue it like this, and then you can, for example, put something behind it like this. And on the journal page, it would look like this when it's glued here, and then you can easily put this in and out. So that's the sense of this, yeah, a little bit weird shaped thing. So we have some of them there in this ephemera pack as well too, I think, yes. Some little, yeah, something like washi samples, or you can also use them as a label or something like that. Or what also would fit, I made them in the same width like this little tags, so you can also add those both things here to the back side and glue them here and on the bottom, and then you can put some tiny note paper here into this little slot that will come here when you glue it. That's also a possibility of this. Yeah, and of course on the tuck spots and those stuff are this crafty critters as well, sometimes in a little bit different colors and that stuff, but everything will fit perfectly to the main pages. And of course we are not allowed to forget pockets. So of course you will get some pockets in this kit as well. As you can see, they are also made out of the main pages backgrounds and some additional stuff like those little labels. Another possibility to use those labels here is to put the definitional labels from the other kit here. So those are not the same size like this definitional labels, but you can also put this here on top, and make a little additional pocket here, or you can put this here and put the fitting journaling card into the pocket as well. I made those labels here a little bit smaller because for my preference it's a little bit nicer and yeah, some kind of more harmony when this is a little bit smaller and not too big on the pocket, so that you can write your stuff on here. But of course it's also possible to add those little labels here on top. Just let me show you how that will look like. And as you can see, you have really, really many possibilities. And that's the main reason of this whole stuff. That's the main reason why I created this kit, so that you have a chance to make notes and some things about your junk journaling stuff. As I said in the beginning, you can write your ideas to it, you can make everything with it, but you have the possibility to combine the things that you want. And that's the reason why I listed those items separately, so that you can go to my shop and pick out what you want to combine. And as I also said in the beginning of the video, if you have ideas, please let me know. If you need something special that I haven't thought about yet, please let me know, and I will try to do it in this style of the Crafty Creators family for you, and then you can get it in my shop. And yeah, as I said, there will be many things coming with this little critters here, and I think those now, I think 13 are not the last ones, because yeah, there is so much in my brain that has to come out, and I have to work on that, I think, for the next month. And now I have forget something, of course. With the with the ephemera pack, we will also get some tags. So in this style that you know from my other printables, I made also this sheet with those little tags here. Hopefully now you are not totally confused or something like that. Hopefully you will be as excited as I am about those little creatures. And yeah, hopefully some of your questions are answered now. And I hope that you will love those little creatures as I love them, and that you would be how can I say that you have the motion to want to work with them, and that you would like to include them into your journals. If so, all the informations about this stuff will be listed down below in the description box. I will list the items so that you can find them very easy. And yeah, so that was it. I think I have to work on a new journal now because yeah, I have everything cut out. That's a really good idea to cut that out and then make the video, because then I have it already cut. Ha! I'm a really clever girl. Sometimes I have to make jokes about myself, as you can hear. Okay, so that was it from me for today. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or message me, via my social medias or somewhere. And if you have created something with this, please let me know so that I can look at it. I would love to see what you would create with this. And of course, I would love to share your work if you want that to my social medias as well. So have a very, very great day. Have a nice time. Happy crafting. Stay well and goodbye.